Here we go. Yesterday we had Christmas wrapping paper. Today I went with the candy canes for the transition to start off. And today we're going to jump right into day 2 of Try Hack Me's Advent of Cyber. Today is going to be a log analysis, and we're going to dive into what is a true positive versus a false positive. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Actually, let's go to this screen. For right now, we'll stay on this screen because all we want to do is we just want to read the story. We want to go through before we actually start everything. So on today's activity, we've got the story, and let's go ahead and read through it. We've got day 2. One man's false positive is another man's potpourri. All right, so it's the most wonderful time of the year again, and it's also the most stressful day for Warsville's Security Operations Center, aka the SOC. Despite the overwhelming alerts generated by the new and noisy rules deployed, Warville's SOC analysts have been processing them non-stop to ensure the safety of the town. However, SOC analysts are now burning out on all the workload needed before Christmas. Numerous open cases are still pending, and similar alerts are still firing repeatedly, making them think of all the possibilities of false positives out there and all this mess. All right. Now what we need to do, let's help the awesome Wareville's SOC team analyze the alerts to determine whether the rumor is true. The Mayor Malware is instigating chaos within the town. All right, so let's first talk about what a true positive is versus a false positive. When we're dealing with SOCs, SOARs, SIMs, we're getting tons and tons of alerts in there. And what we have to do is, as analysts, is you have to decipher. Is what's coming in something that's needed to look at? Do we really need to look at this? Is it a true positive? Did something truly happen that we need to look at? Or is it something like a false positive, like an admin set up a rule, or there's a new rule that's set up and an admin, is running Wireshark or you know, maybe a server administrator is doing something on the server and you're getting a hit that's saying it's a positive, but it's actually a false positive because it's the individual that's supposed to be doing it. So it's a false positive, right? That's kind of what it is. So let's kind of read through this. In a SOC, events from different devices are sent to a SIM, which is the single source of truth where all the information and events are aggregated. So a SIM, from that standard or from that definition, a SIM is where all of your logs are going to come into one individual spot. All those logs are going to come into there and you're going to read them. So you're going to be getting router logs, you're going to be getting server logs, you're going to get traffic logs, you're going to get alerts, you're going to get sign-in logs, tons and tons of different logs. And as an analyst, as somebody in the SOC, you have to do what's tuning. You have to tune these things so you have less false positives and more true positives, so you're not spending your time dealing with false positives and basically chasing after your tail. Certain rules, detection engineering rules, are defined to identify malicious and suspicious activities from these events. In an event or set of events fulfills the specific condition of a rule, it triggers the alert. A SOC analyst then analyzes the alert to identify if the alert is a true positive or a false positive. An alert that is considered a true positive if it contains actual malicious activity. On the flip side, if the alert is triggered because of an activity that is not malicious, it's what we consider a false positive. This might seem very simple in theory, but practically separating, when you try to separate from false positive to true positives, it is a massive tedious job, right? And it can become confusing, especially when you're dealing with thousands and thousands of these on a day-to-day basis. Well, welcome in, Mariana Albright. Glad that you are here. We're going through. And there's Rhonda Rubberfield. We're reading through this before we really get started. So this is kind of what it looks like to be a SOC analyst. You're looking at something, you say, oh man, this looks bad. Oh, this map looks sophisticated. This must be an APT. And then you find out, no, it's just Kesley Joseph over there as a systems admin messing with something. That is a false positive. So making a decision. While it is confusing to differentiate between true positives and false positives, it's very crucial to get it right. If a true positive is falsely classified as a false positive, it can lead to a significant impact from a missed cyber attack. If a false positive is falsely classified as a true positive, precious time can be spent focusing on this false positive, which might lead to less focus on something that might actually be a true positive. All right, so we're going to use the SOC superpower. The SOC has a superpower. When they are unsure whether an activity has been performed by a malicious actor or a legitimate actor, they can just confirm it with the user, right? All we got to do is just call the user. If the privilege is not available to the attacker, a SOC analyst, on the other hand, can just send an email or call a relevant person to get confirmation of a certain activity. In mature organizations, so we've got different maturity levels, like 0 being nothing, you have no cybersecurity, to 5 where you are top of the line, everything's good. I think most organizations are out of 2 or 3. Where was I at? Get a little lost here. So SOC analysts, on the other hand, just can send an email or call a relevant person to get confirmation of a certain activity. In the mature organizations, any change that might trigger an alert in the SOC often requires change requests to be created and to approve through the IT change management process. And that is a whole huge process. It could take minutes for something to go through, or it could take days for something to go through, depending on what it is. Depending on the process, the SOC team can ask the user to share change request details for confirmation. They can surely, if it is a legitimate and approved activity, then they'll have the change request, and the change request board will have already there. You can send it over and you'll be able to see it. If it's not, then guess what? You're going to roll that back, or you're going to dive in and find out what's going on. All right, so the context is While it might seem like using the SOC superpower makes things extremely easy, it's not always the case. There are cases which can act as kryptonite to the SOC superpower. If an organization does not have change requests in place, guess what? That kind of throws that out the window there, right? You can call somebody up. They can't have they don't show you the papers. They don't have a ticket. They don't have the information to actually prove that that request was put in. So you're kind of up in the air, right? Oh yeah, we put a request in to have it done. We went ahead and did it. So the performed activity was outside the scope of the change request or was different from that of the approved change request. The activity triggered an alert such as copying files to a certain location or uploading a file to some website, maybe a failed login. An insider threat performed an activity. That's a big thing, is insider threats. And what a lot of people don't understand is insider threats can be as small as moving files, right? Somebody moving a classified file or a confidential file to a spot that is not classified or is not confidential, and now everybody has access to it. That could be a big problem. A user perform maybe a malicious activity via social engineering from a threat actor, aka they get a phishing message and they click on it and it goes, they go out to a website, so forth. In these scenarios, it's very important for the SOC analyst to understand the context of the activity and make judgment calls based on their analyst skills and the security knowledge. While doing so, the analyst can look at the past behavior of the user or the prevalence of a certain event or artifact. I like how they spell artifact. So this is over in the UK throughout the organization or a certain department. For example, if a certain user from the network team is using Wireshark, said this earlier, there is a chance that other users from the same team are also using Wireshark. However, Wireshark, seen on a machine belonging to someone in HR, may turn out to be something that's not correct, right? I don't think there's going to be an accountant out there that's going to be using networking tools. That could be, could raise some eyebrows. All right, correlation. When building the context, an analyst must correlate different events to make a story or a timeline. Correlation entails using the past and future events to recreate a timeline of events. When performing correlation, it is important to note certain important artifacts that can be used to connect these dots. So the important artifacts can include IP addresses, machine names. So in this sim, we're going to see you're going to have machine names, you're going to have processes, you're going to see all kinds of things in here that a SOC analyst or somebody that is threat hunting can go for and look to find things out about what's going on, right? They have been given all of the words of a novel, and they have to take all those words and put them together. All right, so is this a TP or an FP? Meaning, is this a true positive or is it a false positive? Similar to every SOC, the analyst in Warville, the SOC also need to they need to differentiate true positive versus false positives. This becomes especially difficult for them near Christmas when the analysts face alert fatigue. Oh my God, we all know about alert fatigue. High chances of misclassification of true positives into false positives and vice versa are present in such times. The analysts therefore appreciate any help they could get from us in this crucial time. To make matters worse, the office of the mayor, which we found out about the mayor yesterday, so the office of the mayor has sent the analysts an alert informing them of multiple encoded PowerShell commands run on their systems. That's interesting. So that may be something we're going to look for today, PowerShell. Perhaps we can help with that. So, little backstory here, whether it's a true positive or a false positive, and they're talking about alert fatigue. We all know around this time of the year, Christmas time, holiday time throughout the world, lots of companies go on skeleton crews, so now you're going to have less people in the SOC that are getting more alerts. It becomes a big problem. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and click on start. Let's start this machine up. And let's see what we got going on. To help the analyst, we must start the Elastic Sim machine. So we're going to use Elastic today. in the attached VM by clicking start machine. We've done that 5 minutes. We'll check this out. Let's read through this a little bit. Once the machine is up and running, we can connect to it. Perfect. Once we log in, we can click on the top menu in the top left-hand corner and click on discover. So we're going to see that our login, our username is going to be Elastic. Let me go ahead and let's move to a big screen here. Make my face smaller. Y'all don't need to see my big head. And we're all we're doing now is we're waiting for this machine to boot up. As we do that, we can kind of go through here. So let's go ahead and read through here. So once we've logged in, we're going to hit discover. Perfect. According to the alert sent by the mayor's office, the activity occurred on December 1st, 2024. Huh, interesting. Well, and it happened between 9 and 9 a.m., which we all know always happens, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Threat actors like to do that. They like to start our day off bad. They either like to start our day off bad, or they like to come in and wait for us to hit that and punch out at 5 o'clock, and then at 5:01, all of a sudden all the machines go crazy. So they've sent this alert over to us. Does our room pop up? Yes, our room has come up yet. All right. So let's take this. Let's go log in. Got another thing over here. Oh, you know what? This happened to me earlier. Why does this do this? Got a bad gateway. Let me see if we can just click on it and see if we can get this thing to open. All right. Maybe it just hasn't loaded yet. Even though it's up, it's not actually ready to run. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Maybe taking a minute to load everything. Oh, listen to Mr. CISSP. You know what? I would love to put that somewhere, but I cannot put that anywhere to my name until I have the piece of paper in my hand. I can't go around saying I'm a CISSP. I can't even really say I'm an associate. What I can say is I can say, hey, I passed the test. Other than that, I can't do anything. All right, we got our Elastic server up. Our sim server is online and functional now. It just took it a minute to actually come up. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's close these out. And let's find out. So this is some things. I actually deal with this weekly. We look at logs, try to see what's going on with users. So let's see what we got here. So let's go ahead and log into the Elastic server. And I don't know if they're gonna want me to. All right, once we've clicked on it, we can click on Discover. Awesome. Let me go ahead and get rid of these down here. And let's click on Discover. And we'll walk through all these steps together and find out what in the world is going on in Warville. So according to the alert, so we got the alert. So we're saying the alerts, it happened on December 1st, 2024 between 9 and 9:30. So let's go ahead and hit absolute. Let's go back here. This is Sunday. They said 9 to 9:30, so 9. And then (9 to 9:30). I don't want a whole, we don't want a huge log here. 9 to 9:30. Update it. All right, so here's all the logs. So now I've got logs up. Not sure if you guys can see these. In fact, probably want to open this up. What's up, Brent B? Welcome in. Right, I was just gonna say, all this talk of change management is making me flash back to see. Yeah, there you go. Man, CMB, man, those change management boards. All right, so I do have, I've made these logs a little bit bigger. What I may do is I may flip back and forth. We'll see. Hopefully y'all can see those. All right, so we've got our absolute on here. We've updated it. Now, let's see. After updating these settings, we see 21 events in the mentioned time frame. All right, we got 21 hits. Yep, we're on track here. So we've got 21 events. So what about these events? It doesn't look like there's anything great in here. So we see times. We see if we drop this down, this is going to dig into this specific event, and we can actually see what's going on here. So we'll see like agent type, when log on. We can see a host name. We can see process. But as you notice with this, like we see the document, but it'd be a lot nicer if we were able to actually have columns of this stuff in here. So why don't we do that? Why don't we set up some columns? So let's look here. It says, in their current form, these events don't look very easily readable. Exactly, they're not readable at all. What we can use the fields in the left pane to add columns to the results to make them more readable. How? Hovering over the field in the left pane will allow us to add specific fields. All right, so let's see, what fields do they want us to add? Since we're looking at events related to PowerShell, we probably want to look at a host name, a username, the event category, a process line, an event outcome. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say host name. Let's add the host name in. Perfect. And we don't just want to know what computer, but we want to know who's on the computer, right? So we want to know the username. We'd like to know maybe what was actually going on. So let's check out the event category. And you can see the event category. We see a process, or we see authentication in here. So let's check out the process command line. We got a process command line. We can throw that into here. Oh, look at that. Now we've got PowerShell in here. And then we can say the event outcome. Event.outcome. Has anybody done this room already? Any of y'all doing this? Or are y'all just watching all of us do it? Look like goobers. All right, I'm going to drop this to the side. I'm going to push this aside for right now, because we'll see. Now we can see what's going on in here. Don't know if I can. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And maybe I can zoom in on this just a bit. All right. All right, so finally, so we've got that. So once we've added these fields, we can now see results in this format. Yep. So we've got a nice little format in here. We can see, we can now see that we've got our, we now see that we have a host name, we have a username, we've got our event category, we have our process line, we have our event outcome. Now what we're going to look at here is this is what we're going to be looking for right in here. This, what's up Casually Joseph? Right here we've got the process that's running. So we've got the PowerShell, which, why we're running it in version 1, who knows? But we do have PowerShell. And just looking at this right away, to the naked eye, to somebody that does this a lot, you can tell right away that usually when it ends like this, it's encoded base 64. Let's go ahead and see where we're at. So interesting, it looks like someone has ran some encoded PowerShell commands on multiple machines. Another thing to note here is that before each execution of the PowerShell command, we also see an authentication event. And it was successful. Interesting. How the hell did they have a successful authentication event? Let's keep on reading. This activity is observed individually each time, and the time difference between the login and the PowerShell commands look very precise. Best practices dictate that the named accounts are used for any kind of administrator activity, so that there is accountability and attribution, right? We need attribution because we know what's going on. I'm getting deja vu, like I've seen this a couple of times today. But now I'm on this side of the camera. So here we go. The usage of the generic admin account here also seems suspicious. On asking, the analyst informed us that this account is used by 2 administrators. We have 2 admins that are using this account. I don't know why we have two admins that are using an account, especially an admin, a service underscore admin account, because as a CISSP, you do not want a random user service admin. You need names on there. All right. We need names. What's up, Chris Whitlock? All right. So let's get back to this. So something is definitely not right here. Are these some of the glitches, shenanigans? Who knows? Maybe it's Christmas in danger. We need to find out who ran these commands. We do need to find out who ran these commands. And you know what we need to do? We also need to get with our individuals that are on here. And we need names on here. We need to get rid of this service admin account. We need actual real names. All right. So let's add in a source IP address. So let's check this out. Let's push this back over and let's add source IP. And if we add our source IP address in there now, we're going to see where this stuff actually came from. But we see source IP of 10.0.11.11. Looks familiar. Almost like I saw it a couple hours ago. Since the source IP field is only available for the authenticated events, we can filter out the process events to see if there was a pattern. To do that, we can hover over the event category. All right. And we see the authentication side. So we see that under the event category, we see process. We don't see an IP address under process, but we do see it under the authentication. So if we want to filter this event, we can hover over the event category and we'll see the option of the plus sign or the minus sign. And what that does is it's going to either filter it in or filter it out. So let's filter for authenticated events by clicking on the plus sign beside it. So let's go ahead and hit plus. And there we go. Look at that. Yeah. That's right. All right. Because you know what CST time is. That's God's time. All right. So now that we've done this, we've added it all in. As a result, you can see that the output only renders authenticated events. Since the result does not give useful insights, let's remove it for now. And we can do this by, what are we going to do? Up here, we can go ahead and click on next. Now, I want to get into this just a little bit because I spent all day long and I saw everybody go through this and everybody clicked on these and put all this stuff in. But man, if you can learn KQL, that's where you need to go. Learn how to use KQL, learn how to write queries. That is, that's a lot easier. Easier for me, that is. We'll stick with this. Here we go. So let's go ahead and we're going to get rid of this and we're going to go back down to where we're at. All right. Since the time frame we previously used was for the PowerShell events and the authentication events might have been coming from before that, we probably need to expand our search, right? So remember, the mayor sent us a message. We got something from the mayor's office. The mayor's office was like, hey man, it's happened between 9 and 9:30. I can guarantee you if somebody was in there, they were in there before 9 or 9:30. So let's see if we have any events from the user from the 29th. So they want us to go ahead and back out. And we want to go into November 29th. Man, we were going to go 3 days before that. So let's go there and then let's go ahead and 0 that out. All right, so here we go. Now we see our events. We see a lot of events in here. We have 8,321 hits. So we've got a lot of events in here. So now we need to figure out what in the world. This is what we were talking about earlier, where you're going to run into event fatigue, right? So we see a whole bunch in here. We see, we're going to see what we've got all these different hosts in here. We've got this host where we got host here, host 10, host 9, host 8, host 7. So we're seeing this specific PowerShell script run, it looks like on all of our machines, right? Amish runaway. Well, here we go. Okay, so we're either, we got a big problem here, right? We're either infected with something that maybe it's a worm. Maybe this worm is propagating through and it's running this PowerShell script, or maybe it's legit. Maybe this is because we see a service admin doing this. Maybe it's a service admin that's doing something on here. Let's continue and let's find out. So we've updated our filter to these days. Perfect. Whoa, there have been more than 6,800 events in these 3 days. Well, actually, there's a lot more than 6,800 events. There's 8,300. So we see a spike at the end of the logs. However, even though we use the time filter for the day ended on the 1st, we see no events after the successful PowerShell execution. There are also a lot of more authentication events in the previous days than on December 1st. So to understand the events further, let's filter out our username and our service admin. What is going on? Everybody's driving in front of my house. I got all these people coming in front of my house, looking at lights. Phone's blown up. All right, back to this. All right, to understand the events further, let's filter out our username and password with service admin. So let's go to service admin, and we want to filter. Oh, let's filter for it. So we got service admin. Let's filter for service admin. And with the source IP address of, so now let's go to the source IP address and let's just say here. So now what we're doing is we're saying, I only want to see stuff in here that's coming from the person that's logged in as service admin, and that's coming from the computer of 10.0.11.11. So now we've done this. Uh-oh. It looks like all of these events have been coming from the same user, the same IP address. So we definitely need to investigate a little bit further. This also does not explain the spike, though. Why all of a sudden do we get a massive spike? Look, we had a little bit down here and boom, massive spike. Look, 200, and then now we're thousands. That's a lot. All right. We definitely need to invest further. This also doesn't explain the spike. For further filter or for further authentication events, first by clicking the plus sign beside it. So let's do authentication. All right. Now we've filtered this out further, which doesn't really do anything for us. Moreover, let's filter out the source IP address to see if we can find the IP address, that caused the spike. So let's say, instead of saying that the source IP address is 11.11, let's say that it's not 11.11. Is there anything else out here? Oh, hey, look at that. There is one. Amish Runaway, Brent B, and Casually Joseph. Over here bantering, having a little fun in here. Hey, and look at that, my chat is running up top. That's amazing. Perfect. I was afraid that that was not going to work. Let's see here. So we've got our source IP address. Scrolling down, we see many events for failed logins. We also see the IP address for a 10.0.255.1 address, which differs from the one that we saw in the events continuously coming in the previous days. The analysts have previously investigated this and found that the script with the expired credentials was causing this issue. Okay, so as admins, we do this all the time. We'll run a script, and I guarantee you what they did is they ran that script with their own admin account, which we've already heard that that's their admin account, and then it probably hit a mark where they needed to change it. They changed it, and now the script doesn't work. So they had to go back and fix the script. All right, so however, the script was updated with a fresh set of credentials. There we go. Anyhow, this might just be another script, so let's find out. Let's go ahead and remove the source IP filter so we can focus on authentication events close to the spike. After applying the new filter, we'll see the failed login stopped a little while after the successful login from the new IP address. So let's go ahead and source IP address. What they want us to remove the source IP address filter. We did that. So one, we're removing that filter. Two. So here we go right here. So at 8:59 we had a failure, and then bam, at 8:50 or 9:03 is when we had our first success. So we either had a success. What's up, Rimcast? RMcast? So our first success was at 9:03. Perfect. Our suspicions are rising. It seems that someone tried a brute force attack on December 1st, as shown by the same filters applied. So there we go. We've got all of our filters applied. We see failure, 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 right? So we do see that here. Right, where's it at here? Oop. So we've got here, failure, failure, failure. And then all of a sudden here, we've got success, 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 success. Say that 3 times fast. All right. The results also show that they succeeded with a brute force attempt because of the successful authentication attempt and quickly ran some PowerShell commands on the affected machines. Once the PowerShell commands were run, we didn't see any further login attempts. This looks like a TP. What did we talk about before? TP. True positive. So this looks like there's a possible true positive that somebody did get in and there was something malicious going on. But was it malicious? Let's continue on. There needs to be an escalation so that McSkitty can help us respond to the incident. Anita, what are you asking? So the level of difficulty of all of Advent of Cyber is easy. If that's what you're asking. Oh, yeah. See, I am up top. So I am up top, but what I did is I do have, I've made it bigger. So if we're going to talk and discuss something, I can come back up. I mean, I can come down. You can see my big fat face. But I want to stay out of the way. I want you guys to be able to read it. So let me slide back on up top. All right, so the results also show that they succeeded with the brute force attempt because of the successful authentication attempt and quickly ran some PowerShells. So we talked about that already. The escalation, so McSkitty can help us respond to this incident. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Oh, you got cookies? Let's see. Christmas is in danger. Is Christmas in danger? Do we all believe Christmas is in danger, or do we believe maybe there's something else going on here? If you've been watching throughout the day, you might know the answer to that question. All right, is Christmas in danger? The alarms have gone off, and McSkitty has been called to help take this incident a little further. The analysts have briefed McSkitty about the incident. McSkitty observed that nobody had actually looked at what the PowerShell command contained. Right? We saw that earlier. We saw the big long PowerShell script. It looked like it was obfuscated in base 64, but we didn't really dig into it. That right there is a SOC analyst one. Hey, I got something. Don't know what it is, but I got something. Let's throw it on over. All right, so McSkitty has changed the filters to event category process to take a deeper dive. So let's go ahead and let's add that back in here. Oh, we already have that in here, don't we? So we've got our event category, and then we've got our process. Wait, McSkitty changed. Did we remove something? Oh, there we go. And now let's change this back to the process. There we go. All right, we looked at this earlier. We looked in here, right? We got our red. Let me get my red one here. So here's our red. This is our shell. So we see that this is running. Luckily, we're on not a Linux machine. We're on a Windows, or we're not on a Windows machine. We're on a Linux machine. So we've got Windows System 32 PowerShell version 1 PowerShell.exe. So that is what we're going to be running here. And it looks like it's got an encoded command. So we got a flag of encoded command. And then at the end, we've got the command. But what in the world is this command? So if you guys have ever done Advent of Cyber before, if you've ever done Triagamy rooms before, you'll see these encoded. You'll see this stuff encoded, and we like to use a little tool called CyberChef. We'll go ahead and open that up because we will get to it, and we'll talk about CyberChef here. All right, so we see CyberChef up top. I love using CyberChef, and one thing that I love to use CyberChef for is a thing called defanging. So if you are going to, or if you're dealing with something that you're sending out to your users, and you want to show them, hey, this is a bad website, you for surely do not want to send them, which, look, I didn't even type it in right. You for surely do not want to send them https://google.com. You want to do what's called defanging, and you want to defang it. And I've got that. I do this all the time. So we can defang an IP address. We're not worried about that here, but you'll see that we can bake it. Oh, come on. Auto bake. Why didn't it do it? I'm getting all excited, and then it didn't freaking do it. Done. Back it up. Well, I don't know why we're not working here. Oh, I know why. Because I'm an idiot. I'm defanging when I actually want to fang this thing. No. All right, you know what? Forget it. Let's keep on going. I don't know why that didn't work. This should be working. Let's see if the if our PowerShell script is going to work here. All right, so let's walk through this. We can see that the PowerShell script command. So here's our command. We have PowerShell, we have encoded, and this right here. So we've got this here is going to be our. That's not the whole thing. Didn't show it. All right, we're gonna have to pull it over here. Let's copy this right here. And let's throw this on the input. And now we see that we've got this in here, and we want base64. I'm gonna say that it's from base64. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we can't see. Well, that worked. Why the hell didn't the defang work? All right. So, and this is where they go in and they talk about CyberChef, actually using CyberChef. So McSkitty takes that encoded just like we did. So we're now McSkitty. Oh yeah. You know what? I could have I guess I could have done that.
Damn it, Carl!
So yeah, I'll just leave the sounds up because I can actually do the sounds. I don't have anything popping on the screen, but I do those sounds. McSkitty knows that there's encoded PowerShell. So there we go. There's our encoded PowerShell, and then it's actually running this, and we can still see this is still a little obfuscated, right? We're still not sure what this is. You can kind of read it. It's a little more readable than this up here, right? So we do have when we look at this, we say, where'd my mouse go? This is the problem with having too many. So we see base64, and that is not readable by the human eye. But down here, we actually do see this, and you can read this, right? So we can go install Windows Update, accept all, auto reboot, right? So we can do that. But there's a better way to make this a little prettier. So since we're using base64, we can also add in decode the text. So let's decode the text. So let's remove this. Let's say decode text. So let's pull decode text in here. And we got UTF. So that's UTF and then 16L. And now it's nice and pretty. Now we can really read it. We read it before. We could see it, but now we can really see it. So now we see that the PowerShell script that was run, which I don't understand why somebody would encode base64 on this, they ran Windows Update. And not only did they run Windows Update, they ran Windows Update to accept everything, automatically accept it, and auto reboot. So basically what did they do? They updated all the machines. They patched all the machines. They reached through the door, they knocked on it, they said, hey, Casually Joseph, what are you doing over there? Can you patch all these machines? And then they gave Casually Joseph a encoded base 64 PowerShell script to run for whatever reason, and he just ran it because, you know, he does that. Okay, so let's continue on. What do we got here? So we've decoded this, we've read it. So the result has provided a sigh of relief to McSkitty. All it did was update our machines. So do we have a villain here, or do we have a hero? What do we think Casually Joseph is? Is he a villain, or is he a hero? This is your dream. Yeah, just patch everything. Boom, hit it. Run a script, patch it all, be done within one day, in an hour. All right, so McSkitty with her further analysis, the secret hero. Let's see. McSkitty's further analyzed the secret hero and came to the starting revelation. The credentials for the script in the machines that ran the Windows updates were outdated. They were outdated. However, someone did brute force these systems and fix their credentials after successfully logging in. This was evident from the fact that each executed PowerShell command was preceded by a successful login from the same IP source, causing failed logins over the past few days. And what's even more startling, it was Glitch who accessed admin 01. So ADM 01 going to be an admin machine, and they fixed credentials after McSkitty confirmed who owned the IP address. So we do know, right? We know that Glitch accessed admin 01. Interesting. Let's see what we got going on here. This meant that the people of Warville misunderstood Glitch. All Glitch is trying to do is sit over here, help us, shore out our defenses. Glitch is the one helping us. He's not really trying to sabotage us, but who is trying to sabotage? If Glitch is over here helping everybody, then who's the bad guy? All right, here we go. Was it Mayor who informed us that SOC was about these suspicious PowerShell commands? Just like alerts aren't always what they seem in a SOC, so was the case here. So was the case here at Warville with the people. As hard as it is to differentiate between TP and FP, so true positive and false positive, so was the case with the Mayor and Glitch. However, McSkitty can perhaps use the evidence-based dedication skills. Wait, where am I at? However, McSkitty can perhaps use the evidence-based deduction skills learned in the SOC to make this difference easier for the people of Warville. So what we've seen here by going through these logs, a whole bunch of logs, is we see that a couple of days prior to, it looks like maybe systems admins or whatever already had a script. And why they obfuscated it with base 64, who knows? But this script was already running, and this script was automatically updating these machines. But for whatever reason, their credentials went dead. Now, Glitch, who's sitting over here in the mountain over on the side, realized this, hacked into their systems, and updated it. Just like the FBI updated the Exchange servers for everybody that had Exchange problems a couple years ago. I said that earlier. Deja vu. So he did a good thing here, not necessarily a bad thing. Did a bad thing by connecting in and hacking into the systems, but did a good thing by getting all these systems updated, and hopefully did not cause any other issues. They definitely upped their game. I say, I always loved AOC, but from what I've seen from this year so far, it seems like they've stepped up their game. Yeah, Britt B. So they've done a lot this year, and I think a lot of it has to do with which I didn't even get into this. I don't know if everybody watched yesterday or if anybody watched what Tyler did today, or what Joseph did today. TryHackMe has gone ahead and implemented AI into this stuff, so we can now use AI. By clicking on this, you can ask AI what's going on. You can have AI help you through. It's not in every single room. It is in a part of AOC now, or the Advent of Cyber. But yeah, it's there. It's pretty amazing what they're doing. So let's go ahead and answer these questions. Knock this stuff out for the day. How long have I been going, man? because I really went through and explained a lot of this. What time is it? 7:40. Oh, only 45 minutes in. Awesome. Oh my god, I can use AI. What? Yes, Anita, you can use AI. AI Echo for the win 100%. So you can actually, you've got, you know, I'm doing walkthroughs, but I do the walkthrough at the end of the day. And the reason I do the walkthrough at the end of the day is I want everybody else to do it. I don't want people to like to come off of what I do or just get the answers and put them in there. Although you could do it anyway, but I am working all day. But this AI tool, and I used it yesterday, it's amazing. They did a great job with it. They were able to build it up to where you can ask it questions about what's going on in the specific room. There's a lot to it. Once they get it fully implemented with Try Hack Me, everything in here, it's going to be pretty amazing. It's already great as it is. But let's go ahead and see if we can't figure out these questions. What is the name of the account causing all the failed in attempts? So the name of the account is service admin _admin. I believe that's going to be correct. Yay. How many failed attempts were observed? All right. So, oh damn, this went all the way back to October. How the hell did it go to October? Maybe that's why mine went all crazy. Let's update this. All right, so how many failed login attempts were observed? So now we've got our November 29th, 2024 to December, and we've got failed login attempts. So our outcome needs to be failed, not success. There we go. Now we don't have a failure. All this is failure. So let's say 6791. Whoop whoop. What is the IP of Glitch's address? So we already know what the IP of Glitch's address is. We saw that earlier. But all we really need to do here is go in and say, hey, let's remove this IP address. Let's filter this address out. And this address right here is going to be Glitch's address. So we've got a 10.0.255.1. Should be Glitch's address. Perfect. All right, so here's our other thing. What do we need to find out? When did Glitch successfully log into admin 1? So we've got our host names here. Let's go ahead and hit plus on here. And we want to change this to success. All right, we want to be successful. And it looks like we got authentication. It looks like our time is going to be December 1, 2024. 08 54 39 0 0 0. All right, there we go. What is the decoded command executed by Glitch? So remember when we remember this PowerShell script that was run, we had to de-obfuscate it. We had to pull it out. So this is going to be our code here. And we'll submit it. Yeah, we got them all. All right, if you enjoyed this task, feel free to check out the Investigating Elk 101 room. Let me go ahead and hit complete. Let me hit this and we'll pull this up. This is the Elk Stack room. So you can join this room, you can run it. I'm gonna have fun doing it. Look, this looks amazing. Look, we have a KQL overview where we can learn to write KQL queries. If you are gonna do anything as it pertains to threat hunting or even this, learn KQL. It's a big help. All right, let me Yeah, there we go. All right, now I see everybody. Try defanging on your URL again, but do... Oh, was I doing IP address? No, I wasn't. Was I seriously doing IP address? Am I that retarded? Hold on. That's what I was doing, wasn't I? God, I'm an idiot. Oh, that's pretty funny. All right, so yeah, as I was talking about earlier, you can defang IP addresses. So this is what I love to use this when I'm sending an email out and I'm not being an idiot. So you type in the username, you type in the URL, whatever the URL is, and then you can put that in there, and then it will defang. It'll create this down here that you can send out. And defang basically means that when you go click on it, there's not going to be anything there. It's not a live URL. So you can now what you can do is you can go and copy this, put this into the email, and say, hey, this address or this URL is a bad URL. Let's make sure that nobody's clicking on this if you see this. But that way you can actually send URLs. You can send these things to your users. Man, I'm an idiot. I'm sitting over here talking like this. There we go. Let me go back to the screen so you can actually see what I'm saying. So, as Joseph casually told me, I was an idiot by not doing the URL defang. Let me kill this real quick. So you can see right here, you've got https google.com, and then down at the bottom, it still shows google.com. So this, if I were to copy and paste this into an email, it would actually be live. But if I come in and I do defang URL, now you actually see that, ooh, we're going to see that we've got google.com up here. And then now we have defanged down here where it removes it and it's no longer a live URL. So like I was saying, I use that, put that in emails, copy paste, put that in there. But yeah. Let me, let's see. I've given y'all wrappers. I've moved myself around. Let's throw some candy canes to everybody. Let's come back to there. Oh, there's some candy canes. All right. All right, so that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll come in after I watch Joseph give me all the tips. Why do you need to do that in emails? Okay, well, Anita, the reason you would need to do that in email, when you send an email to somebody and you put that URL in there, unless it's a straight text email, meaning you're not sending it in HTML, you're not sending it in a rich, what ends up happening is it becomes a live URL. It becomes clickable. So you can click on that URL and send it out. So if you're going to send out a bad URL as a somebody in the SOC or somebody doing security or something along those lines that's doing something within the company that's going to send something out and say, hey guys, you don't want to click on this because it's bad. You don't want it to be live. So if it's live and somebody clicks on it, now you're the idiot, right? That just sent them a bad URL and you send it to them live and now they've gone to it and now you got to deal with it. And they're like, hey, BSEC, why did you do that? Hey, Ben, why did you send them a live URL and send them out to this? And now we're all infected. So you want to send a defanged URL, right? You don't want somebody screaming at you going, you moron. Because yeah, if you ended up doing that, you send them the URL and then you know what you're going to end up getting?
Damn it, Carl!
And then you'll be like,
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
so. Any other questions? Did you get my differ URL? All right, well, this one was fun. We're all done. We're 100% caught up. I don't know who's got tomorrow. I'm interested to see on who's gonna be our host for tomorrow's. Let's see. I wonder if we can guess this. So we did OPSEC yesterday. We did a log analysis today. So we did our OPSEC yesterday to find that it was Mayor Malware, right? Today we did log analysis to find out that, hey, we thought glitch was okay, but it seems like glitch is really not a bad person or not a bad elf. Let's see, and he says, I will connect with you. Okay, y'all are talking to your own people. All right. It is rounding out to the top of the hour. I got 2 minutes left. I'll stay here for 2 more minutes unless somebody's got a quick question or not. But man, tell you what, sitting here talking for an hour. I need some water. Hey, don't be sorry. Hey, I'm here to answer questions. That's the whole point. Hey, as a some of you may know, some of you may not know, once you actually go take CISSP, one of your things, one of the caveats to it is that for you to have that, you're supposed to be a person that is out there engaging with the community, making the community stronger as it relates to cybersecurity. So I'm here to answer any questions that I can answer. I know we get other people in here. I know Joseph can answer questions. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, Joseph. I'm thinking there's going to be something like OSINT. Maybe not OSINT. I'm almost. Let's see. We did OPSEC, so we know now. We know that Mayor Malware was there. We did the log analysis to find out that we're patching stuff. I don't know what we'll be detecting because we kind of did a little bit of detection. Not really detection, but we did kind of some logs. Maybe there would be a full-on detection. Kind of looking at when are we going to hit the red teaming side. Now, let's all remember from day one, we already saw that something that Mayor Malware put in there was we've got like crypto, right? So I don't know if y'all remember from last year, but last year we actually had some crypto stuff. We had, I think it was last year, we had crypto, like we had contracts. We had some contracts that we had to do and so forth. Oh yeah, that's a, and you know what? That's actually probably a better guess there, Joseph. Is it being Wireshark or Nmap? And probably going, maybe now that we've gone through the logs, maybe we're gonna dive deeper into the logs and actually try and find traffic. Like pull out. They're probably gonna give us like a PCAP or something to look through, maybe. I wanted to get the perspective of DE, which I'm assuming is detection engineering, and CTI. So they're completely different when you think about it. So detection engineering is actually going out and trying to find something, like threat hunting. CTI for me is more along the lines of doing that due diligence, being a due diligence person, like kind of like we do every single day, right? Every morning we all get up, we watch Jerry, we're part of the daily cyber brief, getting that threat intelligence and each day finding out what's going on, even though it doesn't necessarily relate to everything you're doing every single day. You find out what's going on, right? So you find out that, hey man, it really seems like we had for a while, it seemed like we had casinos getting hit all the time. Then we saw that in the public sector, we saw schools getting hit all the time. Then all of a sudden we're seeing hospitals get hit all the time. So you can see the pockets of where everything is at for me. So I see, oh, right now it looks like hospitals have become a hotbed again. Maybe schools are going to become a hotbed again. You are able to try and factor in or figure out where stuff's at. That's why I think one of the questions this morning somebody asked is what they should put in their brief to their IT director. And that's one of the things you should always put in your brief is like, hey, over the last, if it's a monthly brief, right? Hey, over the last month, they've seen a massive uptick for like threat intelligence. We've seen a massive uptick in a lot of healthcare getting hit. Not necessarily ransomware, but maybe geez, I mean, maybe we've just seen a whole bunch of hospitals getting hit, or you might be seeing a whole bunch of schools getting hit or something along those lines, and you can kind of factor in where stuff is at. That's how I use that stuff, is I go, okay, these are the industries, these are the sectors that are getting hit, and I wait to see when something starts popping off in the sector that I work in, and then I start paying even more attention, right? So Wireshark continues to evade my prowess. Well, Anita, I'll tell you this. I'm not going to guarantee. I won't guarantee it. Oh. Nerd. Wait, hold on. Alright, now I'm nerd. If Wireshark continues to... Hopefully everybody here is doing the Advent of Cyber. We're not just watching myself and Casually Joseph piddle our way through this and look like idiots and try and make it look like we know what we're doing when we really don't. Do these rooms, right? Go through these rooms and do them. There will be, I'm not going to 100% guarantee, but I can almost guarantee you there's going to be something having to do with Wireshark, like Joseph said, either Wireshark or in-map. If you're not a good Wireshark person, then here, in fact, there's a Wireshark room in here. If you don't understand Wireshark, you can get on the Advent of, not get on the Advent of Cyber, get on Try Hack Me and do it. There's a Wireshark room where it goes through everything. If Wireshark evades you, they teach you. Look, there it is, Wireshark 101, right? Go there, go do it, have fun. I think I already did all these. But it explains everything to the T. And they can get as deep as you want or not. But do that. That will help you. I use Burp Suite. Wait. Why do you have to do it? I hate Burp Suite. Burp Suite's fun. Well, if you love in-map, there's no reason, like... Why are you trying to be... You don't need to be... Unless you are a network engineer troubleshooting packet loss or something going on the network, you do not need to be digging into Wireshark. That's kind of what we just talked about here on here, right? We just said that. We don't need accounting people to be in Wireshark. If you're not a Wireshark person, it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm not 100% like, ooh, Wireshark. I use Wireshark to, if I know something's going up and I can, or something's going on and I can figure it out, I'll pull up Wireshark and do it. But there are all kinds of tools. All right. Is that a negative? All right, it's 8:06. I've stayed past my welcome. Somebody's gonna come flying through this door and probably DDT me or something. Tell me I need to get off the computer because I'm a nerd. Wireshark can be used in digital forensics. Yeah, it can be used in digital forensics. Well, it can be used in digital forensics, but at that point you're gonna have to have PCAPs or something. You're gonna have something to be able to pump into Wireshark. Like, you're gonna have to have something dropped off of firewalls or something along those lines. But anyway, that said, yeah, here we go. This is I'm waiting for this to happen. It's gonna come through my door. You have a DDT, boom, all up in my face. All right, I've said this like 10 times. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. I will see you guys in the morning for the Daily Cyber Brief, and then tomorrow afternoon, I will be hanging out in Casually Joseph's stream for sure, because I have to sit over there and mess with him while he does his, and then I'll pop on and do mine. Actually, you know what? I will be, because I've got to take my kid I may be a little late tomorrow for my stream, but I'll definitely be in Casually Joseph's stream, messing with him while my kid does gymnastics. But I will be here, whether it's a couple minutes late or not, I will be here. But until then, all right. Ending, I will see everybody in the morning. Y'all stay safe. Have a good night.